It was a shit segue.
Well, notwithstanding Gerard and the enormous shit, I mean, it is a big sales mistake, but it's a mistake people make in all areas of their lives. So if you take this advice to heart, not just in your sales thing, but this is what we're talking about at the moment, that is focusing on what they don't control rather than what they do. And most obvious here in sales is they focus on the outcome they want and not the process they use to get there. Meaning, I mean, it manifests itself in many ways. I mean, if you've got just say a sales presentation, so say you're in a kitchen showroom and someone just walks in. So it might be a short-term thing. Someone walks in and you make a sales pitch, and you really want to sell this because you want to get commission or whatever, or maybe you just want the business. But even manifests itself in the long term, where people will put in a lot of work to sweet talk contracts. And we actually had one of our guys, they've now left us, we had one of our guys saying he'd put, was it 18 hours working? Put 18 hours working to a proposal, as he called it, and then a load of groundwork, not actual work, but a load of background work, only to be told he'd gone with someone cheaper. Or, as often is the case, you'll get someone say, I love what you're proposing, but we've sent the same proposal to a competitor of yours who said they'll do it for less. What can you do? That can only happen because you're focused on the outcome and not the process. So, the number one, the most, there's loads of things you can learn about sales. I mean, you can either go down the Zig Ziglar route of having all these canned pitches and things, which is evidently effective because people did it and people probably still do it. Human beings haven't fundamentally changed. So to say the old methods don't work anymore is wrong. They undoubtedly do. But there are better ways of doing it, probably. And certainly when I say better, I don't mean maybe more efficient, maybe more relaxing to the person doing it, maybe more effective, better in many different ways. And to me, more preferable ways that to me that are more ethical. And that is to focus on process rather than the outcome. Whether I make the sale or not is outside my control. I have no control over that at all. Because ultimately, I've had sales calls myself where I've been convinced the person's going to say yes. It makes no sense for them to say no, but they still do. Well, what do? I don't get pissed off about it. I just, like I said to people, you ask yourself, why do people do that? Why do people have this burning problem and have the solution laid out in front of them? It's a no-brainer. They still say no. Why do they do that? The only answer I've got, and it's not a very satisfactory one, is because that's what people like that do. Mm-hmm. There's no other answer. So you got to understand that you will get people like this, and it's so frustrating. It really is frustrating. Holly's feeling it right now. Sometimes frustration with people because he says, why don't they just do the smart thing? Because that's what people like that do. So focus on the things you control. And that is why I say to people, have a sales script. People who say they're going to wing their sales, they're deluding themselves. And usually it's through cowardice or ignorance. It's not through any rational thought process on better winging it. No, you're not. You're just not. It's bullshit. It's a lie. Yeah, you might convince yourself, but it doesn't make any sense to say a random process I make up as I go along every single time is better than a structured one, which I've planned out in advance and tested and tweaked over time from experience. I just don't buy that at all. By all means, prove me wrong, but I'm not buying it on the face of it. We have, for instance, airline pilots who are extremely experienced. They have thousands of hours in the air. Before they take off, they go through rigorous checklists, actual fucking paper, and they have 2 of them doing it. And they cross-check. Well, those guys could probably take off without any of that, but they don't because it's safer and makes more sense to use checklists. If it's good enough for fucking airline pilots, it's good enough for you as a salesperson. It really is.
Absolutely.
So focus on process. Take the steps. And, after every say 10 sales presentations, calls or whatever, you might close 3, 5, 7, 9. I don't know. I don't know what your number is. It doesn't matter. But you do know that out of those 10 on average, you will get that number. Each individual one is outside your control and largely irrelevant.
People are...
Go on. Sorry.
Go on. I was just going to say, people are irrational. So there is literally no point in getting caught up when people say no. As you said, if you give them the perfect solution and it ticks every box and it will make their life perfect, there is every chance that company will still say no, just simply because humans are irrational, unpredictable beings. It's quite simple. And to continue the theme of irrationality, it's also irrational to be so afraid of hearing no.